Hello, 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 everybody. Happy Monday to you. Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Monday. I am Dr. Renita L. Webb, and I am the host, founder, producer. The be all end all for the most part of Leadership Live. And I am so excited that you decided to join us this evening. And for those of you who are saying, who's that lady? You? Who do you think you are? Hello, I am all that and a bag of chips. Why not? I am Dr. Renita L. Webb. Am an educational leadership strategist. I am a doctor of education. Like I went to school for a long time, wrote a whole complete and total dissertation. And so that doctor is not for play, it's for real. I am a veteran educator, having served grades kindergarten through college. I am a program director. I am a author, the author of Stepmom: Trials, Tribulations, and Triumphs, and While You Are Sleeping, the Perfect Children of All Ages bedtime story. Yes, I am. I am also a wife, a mother of four. And that stepmom came from the two children that I own, and I have two children that I birthed, but I own four kids. They're all mine. They're all mine. I am a coach. I am a trainer. I am a workshop facilitator. I am a minister, and I am a queen. And I'm a for real queen, like a for real queen. I am Mrs. Black, North Carolina, the current reigning. I am also the current reigning East Coast USA National Talent Performer of the Year, as well as the Elite Southern Charms, North Carolina Ultimate Grand Supreme. Hello. So I do a little bit of it all, but all of it, every drop of it involves leadership. So I am excited to be back here with you for Leadership Live yet another Monday, 13 of 52. Here we go. So I am going to be bringing to you a beautiful woman. And let me go ahead and get her in the room. Let me clear this out the way, bring her in the room. There she is, Dr. Shana D. Lewis.
Hello,
Yes,
hello.
yes, hello, gorgeous. I'm so excited.
I am too. I can't wait for this conversation. Thinking about this all day.
Well, let me tell you. Okay, so let me tell the people. I had the pleasure of serving Dr. Shana's community a few weeks ago. Well, weeks ago.
Yeah.
And here we are in March, and we're back together again. So let me tell you what it's like. Do you understand what it feels like, the audience out there, what it feels like to get back with somebody who you had a real good time with and know, and like anticipate all day, all week, all month that you're going to have a good time again? This
Mhm.
is one of those times.
Mhm. One of
So,
those times.
Dr. Shana, I'm going to step back and let you tell the people about you and what we're going to be talking about tonight.
Well, tonight I am super excited to be here with you this evening. I am Dr. Shana D. Lewis, but all my friends call me Dr. Shana. I am a licensed professional counselor, TEDx speaker, and a destiny interventionist. What does that mean? My mission in this world is to help women who are stuck in life to create U-turns so she can design and build her extraordinary life. See, I just know if mama ain't right, ain't nobody right. And everything I do is to pour into to make sure that we are okay. Ladies, it's time out just having the life that we were given when we can create the one that we want. And I am all about helping female leaders stand up and do just that. This evening, I can't wait to dive into this conversation about helping female leaders get aligned. See, we think when we made it to the C suite or whatever that might be in your world that you think you have arrived. But truly, there's a thing, C suite to success. This the 5 steps of alignment for female leaders that we're going to talk about tonight. So I'm going to help us really understand what does success really look like for female leaders out here in these streets, getting it in. Because I know we working hard, Dr. Benita. We working hard. I am ready for that conversation and can't wait to share with your audience. So thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. I told y'all. Y'all see what kind of energy she's bringing right now? It's gonna be this all night. So just be ready. We're gonna have a good time. I love two things that you touched on. I mean, I love it all, but two things in particular. One, you talked about C-suite or whatever that is for you. I think that
Mhm.
so many people get it twisted and believe that corporate success is the only success.
Hmm.
And once they've reached the C-suite that they are actually successful. And some people stop climbing or stop reaching or stop stretching once they get there. And that's a problem. But then also, this right here, you use the word U-turn. U-turn. And some people think about U-turns and they say, oh, I'm going back where I came from. But aren't you really going in a different direction? Oh, honey, we about
yes,
to
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We're going to help the people tonight, sis. We're going to help them tonight. Hope them, like my grandma would say, hope the people.
Hope the people. We're going to hope the people tonight. Well, Dr. Shana, I mean, let's just go ahead and dive right in. You are talking about alignment, and there are 5 steps to this. So it's not just one thing, it's not just 2 things, it's 5 steps to your alignment. And alignment is a very powerful word.
Yes.
So we think about things being out of alignment. It's kind of like a zigzag, jig-jag thing going on. But to be in alignment, we go to the chiropractor, we go see doctors to get our bodies in alignment so they can function how they're supposed to. We go to church on Sunday to get our lives in alignment so that we can function like we're supposed to. So start talking to us about these 5 steps of alignment to success. From C-suite to success for female leaders. Let's get into it.
Let's just get into it. So here's the thing. I just believe we are not one-dimensional beings, okay? We don't show up. You see your body, but there's a whole lot more going on besides this right here. The first thing, if I set the playing field here, our understanding is understand that we have a mind, a body, and a spirit. We are tripart beings. And if we are going to be successful at anything in this life, we are going to have to access and tap into all 3 of them in appropriate ways. And we're going to talk about that as it relates to the female leader. And one of the things you say that has rung in my ear since we talked is that a woman is a leader if she's leading herself, let alone she's leading someone else. So this conversation is for any woman listening. So don't get it twisted. When I said C-suite and you think, well, sis, I don't work there. You got a C-suite, sis. Whatever that is for you, you have one. So I want you to own that part, first of all. And the thing that I want to make sure we understand is that before we can do anything else, we have to have this internal leadership that shows up first. And that is what the premise is of all of this evening. So when you think about alignment, I always go to a car. So you're in a car and it's rolling like this, right? And you driving down the street, you thought your car was real cute, but it started doing like this. So it started pulling to the right and you was trying to go left. And what's the first thing you gonna do, Dr. Renita? What you gonna do?
I'm going to take mine to a local mechanic because there's nothing I can personally do about it. And then I'm going to say, hold up, something's wrong. I feel like we're out of alignment.
Yes, you are not going to continue to ride on those tires that way. Why? Because it is uncomfortable. You feel the discomfort. It is evident and it is clear and it cannot be ignored. And it will not go away by itself. Our problem, though, as women, is we will ignore our own discomforts. We will ignore our own pulling to the right. We'll ignore all of those things and keep pushing. Not today, ladies. The first step in this entire process is checking your alignment, sis. Are you okay? Are you okay? How's your tread wearing? Because when you think about the alignment of tires, the tread, depending on what that alignment looks like, that tread is going to wear in a certain way, is it not? Because when a tire is aligned correctly, it wears evenly. It's not wearing heavier on the inside versus the outside or the outside versus the inside. It's not doing that. It has a more even alignment so that your ride is what? Smooth. Check your alignment, sis. Are you okay? Is your ride a little rocky? I need you to define what rocky might be for you, sis. Rocky might be you in a horrible relationship, and that could be with yourself or somebody else.
Tell that.
Who is it that you might need to be trying to break up with? And I'm not breaking up no happy homes. Nobody go home and say, Dr. Shana said that I had to break up with you because my alignment is off. That ain't what I said, family. What I'm saying is you need to check it and pay attention. Stop ignoring the signs and symptoms that something is wrong. Okay, the first thing. Now, the other thing I want to ask you when you're thinking about checking the alignment, I said earlier in that car scenario, part of alignment that's wrong in the car might look like you veering to the right when you're trying to go left. in your life, sis, do you feel like you're veering in one direction that is really not where you want to go? Do you feel like you are living or walking somebody else's life? They told you when you make it to the C-suite, you didn't arrive, but you don't feel like you belong there. Or something about that doesn't feel right to you, or you're not being treated the way you want to, or the folks around you don't honor you, or the people around you pull from you, they pour nothing back into you. You walk in that space every day depleted, and you're like, why am I here?
Mm. Can we go? Can we take it to another place that people, where people try to tell you when you get to this place you have arrived?
Yeah.
My favorite place that people say, "Oh, this you have arrived at life when you get here," is when you get married.
No, ma'am.
And some people get married and
Mm.
feel like, "Oh, that is the C-suite of life."
Of all
And because
C-suite.
I've reached this C-suite, now life should be right. And because I've reached this C-suite and other people think I have arrived, and that means that I can't adjust anything in my life, no matter what this feels like.
Wow. You
Now, don't
right.
get me wrong. I'm good and married, and I enjoy my husband a lot. He is my favorite husband. As a matter of fact, of all my husbands, he's my
I love
favorite. I only
it.
have one, but he is my favorite.
I love that.
He is my favorite husband. But I will tell you this. Oh, that alignment gets checked regularly.
Hmm.
Because
That's
for the first few years, we were snaking it out. Because
okay.
it's two lives making one life. And that
That's
was,
right.
and in
That's
our case,
good.
it was two lives making one life with two little people.
Exactly.
And so we had to check our alignment
Yes,
often
ma'am.
because
Yes,
we were
ma'am.
two very different people. And
Mhm.
you talk about leadership, we had to lead ourselves in our marriage. We had to lead our home with
Mhm.
these kids. We were in a
Mhm.
leadership practice heavy.
Mhm.
And if our alignment was off,
Wasn't gonna work.
nothing was going to work.
Nothing.
But we
Nothing.
had arrived. We
Yes.
had
So
gotten
they
married.
said. So they said. Mhm.
Hmm.
So they said. And
But
I
your
love
arrival
that you
requires
brought that up.
work.
Listen, but here's the thing that I believe in, because when folks tell anybody they arrived, I said, no, I am always on my way. I never arrive at any location. It's a journey. The entire thing of life is a journey. We make pit stops, is what I call them. Marriage is a big, major pit stop, right? It's a
Mhm.
place where you reside. You have to get filled up. They got to change the tires. They got to do all of this other work. And then you continue to ride right together. Now you got a passenger in the car with you, but it
Mhm.
don't mean that you done made it to a place and you done. You're not. Because when you stop, really is when we mess up, because we're
Mhm.
not paying attention to when things get wobbly, when we start veering to the right and we're trying to go to the left, when things aren't treading the correct way. We'll miss that if we think I have somehow arrived because they have given me this, this plaque that says she's now a Mrs., or she's had children, or she has this fancy whatever, this or that, or whatever it might be. We are always
Mhm.
on our way. I want us to all remember that. We are always on our way. Sisters, we do not arrive. We are always on our way. That's just period.
You arrive when you sleep permanently. That's when
And
you
right,
arrive at the end.
there you go. And that's what this journey is all about. When we get to that point, well done, my good and faithful servant, that will be enough. That's what I'm looking for. But that's
Right.
the arrival point. In the midst of that, that is just a journey.
Oh, I love
That is,
it.
that is just a journey. So, sisters, checking your alignment first is the thing I need you to do. Even if they've told you you have arrived, understand, and y'all repeat after me, I have not arrived. I am on a journey. Okay?
Hmm.
Check it. The other thing I want you to think about, even in checking this alignment, are you worn down? Are you worn down? Because I know, Dr. Renita, like I know, when you wear a million hats, you're responsible for a million things. People look to you, whether you just work inside of your home or you work outside of your home. We have,
Right.
as women, a lot of responsibility, a
Absolutely.
lot that life puts on us. The world has all these expectations about us. And then, let alone being a female leader in a business setting where there's other expectations that get put on us, and even in those spaces. So there's a lot of pressures that we have. Are you feeling worn out? And what do I mean by worn out? You are tired. You go to bed at night and you wake up feeling just as tired as you were when you went to bed. You can't think straight sometimes. Sis, are you worn down? Are you tired? This is the place where I need you to begin to pay attention to you. And sometimes I believe we get so consumed by all of the things in our world or all of the things that other people want or expect from us that we lose sight of ourselves. And I've
Mm-hmm.
been a clinician for 20 years. And I've had more women come to me, and I would say a chief complaint is, I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am. Now, she has been to all of these different places, done all these different things, whatever they may be, but she still doesn't know who she is. And perhaps it's because she hasn't checked her alignment. She lost
Mm-hmm.
herself in the process because she was headed to the place they told her she was supposed to go, or she was headed to the place they told her, oh, you have arrived. So she stopped checking for herself. She
Mm-hmm.
stopped. Are you worn out, sis? So once you've checked your alignment, so we got that part, we understand what the symptoms are of a rocky road. We understand that I'm veering right or left means, and I'm trying to go left means that's a problem. I'm feeling worn out. That is a problem. Now, I said earlier that there's three components to our tripart being. So the second step is you got to get your mind right. You got to get your mind right. If we don't have mind right, nothing else I'm going to tell you was going to make any sense. It's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And we talking about we starting top down at this point. Get your mind right. What does that mean? So one of the greatest things that I always ask women is talk to me about your self-talk. What is it that you tell yourself when nobody else is around? What are the thoughts you have about you? Because what I know, Dr. Renita, is that we have a lot of negative thinking. A
Yes,
lot.
indeed.
A lot. And some things that fly under the radar, we've had them for so long that we don't even notice that it's negative. We have no
Mm-hmm.
clue. And when you tell yourself, oh, why'd I do that? Or that was dumb. Or I can't believe, oh, that was just so stupid. Or I can't do that. Or I can never have that. Or I don't have enough of. I'm not tall enough. I'm not, my hair not long enough. I'm not bright enough. I don't have enough money. My house is not big enough. My kids are not this enough. My husband ain't tall enough either. My fence ain't clean enough. Whatever enough.
Mm-hmm.
And we sit that right here and we don't understand the level of impact that thinking has. It is powerful. We do what we do based on what we believe to be true.
Right.
So whatever you're telling yourself is informing your behavior, all of it.
Yep. That goes to the idea that perception is reality.
Yes.
So even if it's your perception, it's still reality,
Yep.
let alone the ideal that you are trying to predict the perceptions of other people.
Because you think you are a mind reader too.
Right, right. But it goes back to your point of though that we're not aware. We may not be aware of who we are, but a lot of times I think that has to do with the fact that we try to ignore who we were.
Oh, that's a good point. That's
Because if
good.
we're trying to block out who we were, then we are now blocking out the lessons from the experiences that we've already had. So when we're
Correct.
trying to talk to ourselves now, we
Yeah,
forget what we've already learned.
indeed.
So you're saying things to yourself, you're stupid or that was dumb, but it's
Mm,
usually based on something that you've already learned. So now it's dumb because you should have learned that lesson. But when you're trying to forget
mhm.
that you ever did that,
In the first place.
hmm so then your mind can't get right.
Nope.
If you ever want to get down to your purest self, if you ever want to truly have your mind refined, you must acknowledge those things that happened before.
You have to because they are valuable. I heard this from a coach. He says your past experiences are just down payments on your future.
Mm-hmm.
So don't
Mm-hmm.
think that they're irrelevant or don't think that I'm less than because I understand y'all. I am a therapist and I work with women who've had trauma and major traumas and abandonment and neglect. I mean, major issues. And I know we have some stories to tell about what happened to us. And part of what happens to us, many of us have made it mean who we actually are when really what it happened to us. It's not who you are, it happened to you.
Right.
And you, because it's not you, you get to decide what you do with the thing that happened to you. I can use it as a lesson or I can use it as a whip. I can use it to whip
Mm.
me for the rest of my life and put me in a space where I don't love myself enough because I continue to persecute myself or to work to deny that it even happened, which still isn't helpful. which still, because the thing that you deny still has power and control over you. That's a whole another live conversation. But facing these things is where we regain our power here.
Right.
And what we
Because it's
do
all
with
a part of who
those,
you are.
yes, it is.
It's all
Completely.
a part of who you are.
Yes. And so here's the thing we have to remember. We are who we are based on the sum total of the experiences that we've had up until that point. But here's the other piece. But at that point where I'm at this place where I acknowledge all of the experiences, I still get to decide what I do with them. I get to decide
Yes.
what they mean for me. I get to decide. You have that power. You do.
Right. It's fuel. It's fuel. It's either gonna blow you up
Yep.
or it's gonna blow you up. Like it's
You pick.
you
Yep.
pick.
Yep.
Either you're gonna go to level up, go pull a good Sierra and level up, level up, level up, or you're going to explode and just never do anything. You'll give up.
Exactly. Exactly. You will implode and destroy,
Hmm.
self-sabotage, all of the things that will get in your way. And what you have had in you all along was amazingness that all
Right.
of these things just got to sit on top of. And you just, your belief in you, you disconnected from yourself. And this is one of the reasons why we disconnect from ourselves too, because we're trying to disconnect from our past. Like if I acknowledge that happened, then that means I have to acknowledge that that was me in that time. So I'm gonna just, you're not doing yourself a favor. This is where I tell sisters, sis, if you need to go to therapy, go to therapy.
Yes.
Go talk about these things. It is, I can't tell you how many women have, I mean, they in their 40s or 50s and never talked about stuff that's happened to them in their past, in their childhood, maybe, never breathed a word to anybody. And the level of destruction that has occurred from that time until this time in life possibly could have been avoided or
Hmm.
mitigated, minimized if we had if we had the help in place to get us to that space. So I encourage you, not just because I'm a therapist and I believe in therapy for sure, but I just know the power of how it gets our minds together. Oh my God. And everybody may not need therapy at this moment. So I'm not saying I will say this, at some point in life, everyone can benefit from therapy. I don't care who you are. We all got some stuff. You do not have to wait till the house is on fire to go.
Well, you saw Yolanda Makumbe definitely agree with you. She said, "Go to
Go to
therapy with
therapy.
two exclamation points, not
I
just
know.
one, two of them."
My sister's with me on that one.
Yeah.
Yes, we need to really make that something that we are okay doing and talking about because there's so much stigma around that. But if
Right.
we knew the power of the mind, we'd all be running to therapy, trying to clear out some stuff that's blocking. Because sis, you got amazingness inside of you,
Right.
amazingness that you will never see if you got stuff sitting on top of it that doesn't allow you to access that which you really have inside of you. Just
Absolutely.
won't. And that to me is the tragedy. That's
Right.
the tragedy.
Yeah. Yeah. When people, die with all the talent still within
Oh my God.
because
Full.
of their own fear, because they blocked themselves. Nobody else blocked them. It was them. They blocked themselves. They talked themselves out of it. They refused to do it.
Yeah.
They were scared
Yeah.
of it. They never dealt with the other stuff. So they never got
Nope.
to it.
No. And ignored it and acted as if y'all have heard that saying, if you don't deal with your own wounds, you're gonna bleed on people who didn't cut you.
Hmm.
And we'll do that unknowingly because we didn't deal with our own stuff. The mind, they say a mind is a terrible thing to waste. That's not a cliche, like that's a real thing. But it takes work, right? And so therapy is one of the tools you can use. But my question for you also is, do you have clarity of mind? Are you clear about who you are, why you're here, and what you're supposed to be doing?
Right.
Many of us lack focus. We lack clarity because sometimes, Dr. Renita, we have been chasing what you said earlier, what other people told us we were supposed to have, do, or be, or become. We have now arrived at said place. So we've been chasing the dream they fed us that was the
Right.
thing. And I'm not taking anything from sisters who've made it to whatever levels on whatever spaces in their worlds. I am proud, hand clap. I congratulate us all when we arrive and at that pit stop. Remember, because you don't arrive at an end point, you at a pit stop. I applaud us for that. But I want us to be in that space where we actually can enjoy whatever it is it has to offer. Because what'll happen is we'll get to these spaces, we won't enjoy it because it wasn't what we wanted. Maybe we have all the baggage that we bring with us. Our mind isn't right, so we self-sabotage the situation. That could be a relationship, that could be a career, that could be a whole bunch of things, actually.
Right.
Because the mind isn't right. It is so imperative. That's why I start with this, because this is a top-down situation. Get our mind together, we're good. Now, here's a simple thing that I always love for women to think about. Have you ever been one to make a habit of using affirmation, affirmation to put that positive thought process in your mind? Right? I look at it like magic, because we know when somebody, if you grew up and somebody told you was dumb, you were never going to be nothing, it was their thought initially. It wasn't yours. But eventually you heard it enough that it then became yours. So now that take place in your head as if it was you that said it to you, but it was them that said it to you. But now you don't hear their voice anymore. You hear your own voice telling you that. The positive stuff works the very same way, ladies. When we remind ourselves daily that, you know what, I am amazing. I am deserving of all of the wonderful things in this world. Today, I decide that I am enough. Whatever those things are, you need to say to yourself on a daily basis. Look yourself in the mirror. And one of these young ladies I talked to not too long ago, she said, and love yourself down in the mirror and be like, girl, you the one I've been waiting on. Yes, ma'am. I'm so glad you showed up today. This is you in the mirror with you, sis. Ain't nobody else in that space, because the one you waiting on is you. You've been waiting on you. But show up for yourself. Here. I mean, most of the battles we really fight are here.
Amen. Absolutely.
They just are. So I'm hopeful that, and if you have an affirmation practice or something that you do, just drop some powerful affirmations in this feed, because
please drop them in the chat.
Because somebody doesn't know what affirmation she needs, and you may drop the one that's your favorite, and she be like, I think I'll borrow that. You have a license tonight to borrow anything you see in the chat box, sisters.
Absolutely.
We sharing this evening, like we had a dinner table, this family style.
Right. And if any of my gentlemen followers are on here today, feel free. You too can deal with your mirror image. So I have a broadcast for my nonprofit, the Refining Life, and every second Sunday we sit down and we talk about mirror image.
I love that.
What we see and what we say to what we see in that mirror. And we have a whole year of content to talk about. So that's how powerful this is.
Yes.
What we are saying to ourselves,
Lord have mercy,
and what mentality we allow ourselves to have will make or break us.
Yep.
We wonder how people feel so confident to shoot their shot, talking to other people when, in our opinion, maybe in our eyes, they are not the most appealing, but they are confident. And they said, I'm getting this number today. And they will come right to you because they have told themselves, I am worth it. I am all that. I think this person is amazing. I'm going to go catch that number. How do they do that? They look at that mirror image. They have spoken to that mirror image. They have instilled things in themselves that say, I am more than enough to go catch that number today. So don't question that person who shot that shot.
Listen.
They shot it because they believe.
Exactly. Completely. And here's the thing, and we don't always, and sometimes people say, well, I don't trust myself, or that's why I don't do this, or I don't do that. And even this person you're talking about right here that shoots their shot, and they don't know the outcome. But the thing we have to trust is not that everything turns out exactly like you want it to, but it's really that no matter what happens, I'll be all right. I got it. I can get resources. I can ask questions. I can get help if I need to. It'll be somebody behind them if they don't want it. No, it's fine. No just means not right now. You know what I mean? It's a mindset. It is what we get to decide about ourselves. And here's the thing, though, what's really powerful is how you see you and how you present yourself is really he gets reflected in your relationship with other people too.
Right.
It does. So when you say people mistreat me or whatever, well, the thing I'll ask people is, what reflection are you giving? How are you showing up in a space? Because we all know somebody that we know ain't nobody gonna mess with them. You know, because of how they show up in a space, right? Now, whether it's real or they just fake it till they make it, whatever it might be, you know. So how we think about ourselves will affect how we feel about ourselves, which affects how we show up in this world. This is why our thinking about who we are is so important. If we're not teaching that to little girls, teen girls, grown, we all need it. But I just say start as early as possible because they need to know. So when they grow up, they already have it. Then we really are going to be at a disadvantage in life in general because we're waiting on someone else to validate who we are.
Absolutely. Well, we got one person on here. Regina Leak says, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. So if you hadn't stolen or borrowed an affirmation, that's a good one to take.
Yes,
I
sure
am
is.
fearfully and wonderfully made, because if you're thinking that and believing that about yourself, there's certain people who, in certain situations, you will not allow around you. So the mistreatment likely won't happen.
Will not, or it won't go unanswered, and it'll have a response because I know who I am.
Right.
Doesn't mean you got to be ugly, mean, or rude to people, but how you respond to it, it won't happen again because they get clear about who you are and whose you are. That's all I'm saying. And you have a right to be able to say that. So getting your mind right, ladies, being the first piece of this mind work is so imperative if we're going to be aligned. So we get this clarity here. We know who we are. We think about ourselves in positive ways. And I'm a God girl, so I see myself. I work to see myself through his eyes, not my own, right? Because he sees me for who I actually am and the potential I actually have. And he'll see what I can't see. So I'm going to trust his view.
Right.
Instead of my own on some days, right? Because I'm going to need his eyes. So when we get clear about that, we can show up in a different kind of way. So we got the mind right, right? So
Yes.
the mind is together. Now I need you to treat your body as a temple.
Woo!
Okay. Now I'm about to get messy right here. I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all that now. That's how I roll. If you in my tribe, in my group, you've been on my live before, you know I don't mind. When I come down your street, just let me know that I knocked on your door and let me in. Don't leave me out here by myself. Okay. That's all I ask. So our bodies as temples. And I know we said earlier we got 1,100 things going on. We so busy. We don't have time. Sisters, are you properly caring for your body? Here's an affirmation that one of my girlfriends, Dr. Kim Sim, shout out to her, that she has said that I have definitely borrowed. My body is a temple and it deserves proper maintenance. It deserves it, okay? And so what does that mean? So I'm not talking about a body that looks like some on television. I'm not talking about that part. I'm talking about, are we healthily caring for our bodies? When you don't feel well, do you make time for yourself to go to the doctor to even get checked out? You know how many women I've talked to that say, well, sis, I just be canceling those appointments because I don't have time to go. No, ma'am. If you make time for everybody else in your world, everybody, I'm from Tennessee, I'm from the South, everybody is a word, look it up. If you make time for everybody else, but you don't make it for yourself, you, number one, are no good to you, and you definitely no good to anybody else. See, I can't give you that which I don't have myself. So if I haven't cared for me, I'm pouring out of fumes, really. I'm not really giving you nothing that's really good. I may be painted on the outside, but when you get to the inside, you be like, that was a little shallow. It wasn't a whole lot in there because I didn't have nothing to give you. Sisters, go to the doctor. If you feel things, I'm a huge proponent of women's hormonal health. And I'm going to get real technical on y'all for just a second because it ties to the mental capacity as well. Because our hormones are raging, whether we know them or not. Raging. Okay. So if you've never had your hormones checked, and I'm not just talking about I go to the GYN once a year, they do this is additional testing, ladies. If we don't know what to ask for, we don't know, we're not getting what we need. They're only going to do regular stuff. Are your hormones balanced? Have you had a test that measures all of them? And what I'm saying by balance, and most of us are not. So you really want to do deep dive testing. If you go to drshell.com, drshel.com, I love her. She is my own doctor who does this work for me. No matter where you live, I want you to look at it. She has some assessments on her site that you can actually take to tell you, are you dealing with certain kinds of hormonal imbalances? Check your body, sis. It's talking to you. It's telling you there's some stuff going on that you really want to address. And that's a great way to do it. And there's lots of organic ways for you to address those things without getting synthetic drugs and things like that. That's a whole nother conversation, but that is on her site as well too. It's called bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. Get in my inbox if you got questions about it. I'll be happy to tell you more. But that's really about checking on your body. Because what I found is when my hormones were out of whack, I wasn't sleeping well. I was tired all the time. And even when I did go to bed, I woke up not well rested. I had adrenal fatigue. Didn't know that, but it wasn't until I got proper testing to find out. My cortisol levels were out of whack. Didn't know that. My thyroid was going bananas. Didn't know that. Not until I got testing. And I was able to get the proper nutrients in my body, the proper supplements to get me balanced out, and my body began to function. Do you understand that your body has the ability to heal itself if we treat it properly? One of the biggest things we need to do for ourselves is get adequate sleep. So here's a few key things for your body. You need to get between 7 and 9 hours of sleep every single night. And I know it's a struggle because I live in the struggle. I'm here with y'all. I'm a work in progress every single day. But when we get 7 to 9 hours sleep every night, our body has the opportunity to heal anything that needs to be healed. Not only that, but did you know that when you sleep 7 to 9 hours at night repeatedly on a regular basis, you can help yourself manage your weight? Some of us who try, I can't lose weight. Are you getting enough sleep, sis? Are you going to bed at a decent hour? Are you getting your 8 hours every night? It's critical. The other thing we need to do, sisters, is drink water. And I've had women tell me, I don't like how water tastes. I understand that, but your body needs it. If you need to put some lemons in it, some lime in it, we need to at least drink. The average, they say most women is 4 bottles of water, but the other calculation that we're given, take your body weight, divide it in half, and that's how many ounces of water you need to drink on minimum every single day. And then the third thing is you need exercise, 150 minutes of aerobic activity with strength resistance and training a week. That's really 30 minutes, 5 times a week in order for us to be healthy in our bodies. If we treat our bodies as the temple that she is, she will give us back and reward us in amazing ways. Why does this matter, Dr. Shana? Because if I have mistreated my body and I'm not getting adequate sleep, I'm not eating healthy. And I didn't really get there because I know the pandemic, honey, sisters got these pandemic pounds and they've been telling me, I know I had a few until I got my life together. And I got to the place where I could affirm that my body is a temple and she deserves to be well maintained. And I can make modifications in my life as a result. It is energy level is huge. Focus is huge. Creativity goes up. All of these things. So when you talk about being successful, and we don't have focus, clarity, creativity, what are we doing? You got to take care of your body, sis.
Let me go back to these pandemic pounds. Let's that right there has taken me out for the day. It's these pandemic pounds. But so I will say people have gotten pandemic pounds physically, like you get on a scale. But then they've also got mental pandemic pounds.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
They taking a pandemic pounding. That struck my spirit in such a way. Because when we think about our leadership and how we are or not positively leading right now, a lot of it, either we're blaming on a pandemic pounding or that we put on some pandemic pounds, but there's more than that.
Oh, yeah.
There's more than that. I would like to say that I am drinking my water.
Yes.
And for the ladies who don't like water, let me tell you, one, there goes my sip. Drink it all day. Just plan to drink all day and you more than likely get it in. But also, now that lemon thing is real. If you want to be bougie like me, my husband says I have fruit salad water. Get you some lemon, some lime, and some orange. If you at the restaurant, they'll give you all three. They'll look at you kind of funny, but they got all three.
I
more
only
than
last for lemons. So lemons, lime,
lime
and
and orange.
look at that.
It's a
I
whole
got
new
a
life.
cocktail of water. Okay.
It's
I
a
will.
water cocktail. I can't say
Okay.
that I created it. I believe it was Karen Kane Henderson who I
Okay.
experienced it with the first time. But I said, "Oh, that sounds delicious."
Got
Now,
you.
if you like grapefruit, I do. If you do, add some grapefruit in there.
There
Maybe
you
you don't
go.
add the orange, you add the grapefruit instead. It brings an effervescence to your water, and you will find yourself drinking your water all day, every day, and it's not making it bad.
Exactly. And it's so helpful. When we complain about not being able to lose weight, drinking water is important. We complain our skin doesn't look we want to. Drinking water is important. Water is how our body hydrates itself. And when we deplenish it and we walk around dehydrated, we are tired, we are lethargic. It affects so much.
Oh, you have headaches, you
Yes, you
have
do.
muscle aches. Your
Yeah.
body needs water. If you are going to lead anybody into anything, you got to think about the way you talk about pouring out of an empty cup. If you are not drinking water, you are literally pouring out of an empty cup. You've
Yes,
got
you
to
do.
hydrate yourself to be able to lead,
Yes, you do. Think
to
about that
have
on
the
so
clarity of
many
mind to
levels.
lead.
On so many levels, you got to hydrate yourself to lead. Keep sipping on some of that positivity. Keep sipping on some of that. Get your mind right. Keep sipping on. I'm gonna take care of my body. Sip on all of those things. Oh my God, that's good. You got to
Mhm.
sip your way, hydrate your way to be a leader. I love it. So,
Some people
sister,
try to gulp their way through.
no,
Sometimes you gotta get you a life straw. Get you a life straw. This is your life straw. Get your life straw. Sip your way to success.
sip your way. That's a whole talk right there. Go ahead on and write that one up, sis. That's a good one.
I mean,
Sip
it's
your way.
sip by sip. You'll
You
get there.
sip by sip. That's a good one. That's a good one. And so connecting the mind and the body, when we've taken care of our body well, our mind can function even better as well too. These things are connected so much. And now then the last piece of the tripart being is spirit lead me. Spirit lead me. Because as a leader, we think about leaders lead, right? Well, leaders need to be led somewhere too. And I'm a God girl, and whatever your spirit is for you, allow it to lead you in whatever space makes sense for you. But my question is always, are you connected to whatever your higher power is that is greater than yourself? If we believe that we are the end all be all of all things, then we I'm missing a fundamental piece here because we are just here, but there is something at work that we didn't create. Like we didn't create the trees and we didn't create the birds and we didn't create that. Now we can, clone some stuff, but it had to be some stuff already here for us to even go do science. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I'm saying, are you connected? Because if you're not
Mhm.
connected to a power source, what happens when you try to turn on a light and the power out? If you live in Houston, Texas, and our winter storm, what
Woo,
happened?
baby.
What
Not
no
one thing
power?
turned on.
Oh my God. And you couldn't do nothing that you had planned to do. You couldn't cook, you couldn't eat. With no power, you can't do any of the things that your mind is even trying to tell you to go do.
Right.
I ain't got no power. You ain't got no gas. You can't do none of the things. We have to be connected to our power source. So how do you do that? And there's many ways to get this connection. And so I want people to understand that spirituality is really broad. It really is very broad because there's a piece in my world. Like I said, I'm a God girl, so that's part of my spirituality, my religion, my belief set, that kind of thing. But spirituality is also the outdoors. Being outside is a very spiritual experience because you are not the creator of any of those things. It's something greater than yourself that you had nothing to do with it showing up. None of it.
Right.
And so for me, the pandemic, if there's lots of gifts, but the one gift that I can say in this space it gave me was outside. I was not your girl. She was not going outside. I wasn't sweating out my hair. I wasn't finna be hot. I wasn't finna do none of those things. But this pandemic got me so good on that spirit outside. I would be running outside every single day. I want to do work outside because I needed that fresh energy. And we don't have a
Mhm.
whole lot of time to speak about that tonight, but the energy is in everything. We exchange energy all day long. And if you don't have good, clean energy coming back into you, then what are you? Then you're just using, spending all of yours, and possibly having some negative energy that's coming into you too during your daytime, and you don't have anything else pouring back into you. So we need to have that space of spiritual connectedness. Maybe it is a Bible study. Maybe it's worship for you too. Maybe it's meditation, mindfulness. We just
Mhm.
need to be quiet sometimes.
Oh,
Just
oh, oh.
hush.
Whew, Jesus. So I believe in 2019, and I can't remember which leadership live it was, because 2019 I did leadership live all by myself, but I talked about the power of silence.
That's good.
It has a power all in itself. Sometimes you just, the strongest way you can lead something yourself or anything else, sometimes it's just to shut up.
Hush,
Just
hush,
hush,
hush.
hush. Embrace the power of silence,
Ooh.
because one, it's going to stop everything.
Yep,
Silence is a stopper.
yep.
You would just, you will start observing, looking around, for trying to figure out why it's so quiet. What just happened? Like, even when you're talking about spirituality, sometimes God, I'm a God girl as well. God gets our attention quickest when we can't hear,
Mhm.
when you don't hear nothing. Like, huh? Oh, whoa. And then you'll get silent. As a
Mhm.
teacher, when I was in the classroom, my class got too loud. Why am I screaming? Why would I scream and waste my
That's
voice?
why.
No, I'm going to shut up.
Mhm.
When your kids are acting crazy and you feel yourself getting ready to go off, no, don't go off. Hush. And sometimes the hush and look is usually really the power move. It's the hush and look.
Yes, it is. You know what it means too.
And but it's something about the power of silence. And when you get to that quiet place, it's in the most quiet moments that you can hear the most efficiently.
Lord, Lord.
There
When
is
I
so much
tell
said in
you, woo,
silence.
so true, so true.
That's when you really start listening. When you close your
Woo.
own mouth, you can hear other things around you. When you close your own mouth, you can even hear what's going on in your own thought. When you close your mouth, you can feel and hear what's going on in your spirit. Close your mouth. Don't hum, don't sing, just listen. That's a power of communication. The strongest communicators are the strongest listeners. And the strongest
Mhm.
listeners and communicators are some of your best leaders. Hush.
That's good. We can struggle with that. That one's a tough one though, because we got a lot to say. Lots to say. And all of the moments in my life that have been really major moves. The like the first one that comes to mind is when I even decided to go back to school to get my PhD because I rejected the thought for like a decade. Said I don't want that. Like that's cute, but I'm not doing it. Literally came when I was across the country in California in a hotel room at a conference all by myself, sitting in the quiet. And I got the download and the message from my father that said that's what I was supposed to do. I would never have heard that anywhere else because it was too much noise.
Mhm.
Too much noise. So the quiet is a powerful place, which is why I love the practices of mindfulness. And mindfulness is really about just coming into yourself, being connected to your senses. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? What do you taste? What do you touch? It's connecting internally, but you're quiet. You're not talking, you're noticing. Because if you get quiet, even if we got quiet in this very moment, you begin to hear things around you that were happening, but you didn't attend to them because your thoughts were somewhere else until you got quiet to then focus on those other things. So there's so many downloads we miss. So we get, downloads when we sleep. We get downloads when we get quiet. What you don't get is a lot of downloads when you run in your mouth too much. And I'm not, because we got a lot to say, a lot of value, but using the silence is very powerful. So I encourage you, if you don't have a mindfulness or meditation kind of practice, create one. There's so many apps that will help you create even small moments of them. There's an app called Calm. There's an app called Headspace, Virtual Hope Box. There's tons of apps. YouTube, just take your pick. Even if it's like 5 minutes, and you want to just take a minute to just come into yourself. And some of us need instruction initially because we're just not used to getting to that place. That's fine. Use some of these apps to guide you to that place. And eventually you can probably do it on your own over time. But we need to get to that place. That's how you connect into a space that is peace. We don't get that in noise. We only get that. See, a lot of folks, I don't want to, we get afraid when we are alone or by ourselves and it's quiet. But that's the gift of that, ladies, is really solitude. It's peace that comes from internal, that comes from a spiritual place, whatever that is for you. And so I encourage you to seek that, because when you do, your ability to lead in whatever capacity you are has now been heightened because you're now more connected to yourself. And so what we've talked about is the three different parts: your mind, we got that right; your body, this temple you are taking good care of, and now your spiritual self is being fed. You're asking spirit to lead you so that then you can do what you're called to do, which is to lead in whatever aspect you've been given space to lead, whatever that looks like for you. So I'm encouraging women, and then that last final step is routine maintenance. So you can get all of this right now, and you never go back for another tune-up, and you never go back when you start to see it go a little bit off edge. See, when you get it real good, you'll notice the first lump. You don't wait till it get all like this, because you felt it when it went off. Oh, we got off right there. Wait a minute, let me go fix that right quick. Let me go pay attention to that. And you're in tune with yourself. And this is when folks say, I don't know who I am. You really know who you are at this space because you've connected to all aspects of who you are. So when anything goes awry, like, oh, that something ain't right. We need to, and maybe you need to get quiet to pay attention to where is it coming from. Because that might not be crystal clear for you at first, but get quiet, meditate, journal, write, and get to that place. So I'm hopeful that these thoughts, these 5 steps of aligning yourself as a female leader in whatever C-suite space you find you're in, to move you into a space of real, true success. And success is progression. Success doesn't look like a certain thing. It's anytime you are moving forward and whatever it is you're working to do, sis, that is success. Again, we're not arriving. We're always on our journey, on our way. So I just encourage you to not do this with blinders on, but take the time to take care of you, mind, body, and spirit. Get yourself aligned, sis, so you can have your extraordinary life.
Absolutely. And to my leaders out there, don't think that you shouldn't celebrate when you reach the milestone.
Exactly. We need a celebration.
When you take the exit before you get back on the road, when you go to fill yourself up, celebrate. I made it to the C-suite. I made it to I completed the book. I started the business. I got the degree. I had the child. I got married. I bought the house. I did all those things. I figured out what I wanted to do. Now that is a celebration all in itself.
All by itself.
I figured out what this next step in my journey is. That's a celebration all in itself. Don't not celebrate it. Don't not relish in it. And sometimes you have to sit in that thing for a minute before you take your next steps. That's okay. Do that. But don't think that you have ended. Don't think that the journey's done. The journey is not over until you leave here. That's when the journey is done. It is not about thirsting for accolades. It's not thirsting for accomplishment. It's about continuous growth, continuous movement, continuous living.
Yeah.
Don't just be thirsty for the next celebration. Be excited about the next step in your journey.
Absolutely excited about it. Because we're going to celebrate with you. We are.
Right. There's more work to do. There's more things to do. There's more for you. You are enough even for that next thing.
You are.
That's why you're still living.
We all here for a reason, aren't we?
Absolutely.
And I just want us to know that we have a purpose, but I want us to walk in the purpose that is ours. Because when we are lost in this saucer, what I'm talking, what I've just described, when your mind and body and spirit is everywhere, you're pointing in somebody else's purpose. Well, she doing that, so that must be what I need to do. And that looks like fun. So they said that was a good thing. So you end up living somebody else's life and not your own, which is how you get off alignment anyway. And so when you're fully aligned, you wake up in the morning excited about whatever it is you got to do because it's aligned with all of the parts of who you are and whose you are. And it's just a beautiful thing. There is no resentment inside of it. There's all of it. I mean, it's not necessarily easy. Now, I'm not saying some work don't come with it, but it does. But you're excited. I always say, you're in your passion when the poop don't stink. Like I will shovel that all day, don't bother me at all. Smell like roses because I'm in the right space. I'm supposed to be here. And I'm
Right.
clear about that. So that's just my wish for women is to really be purposeful and walk in our purposes through alignment.
Yeah, I like what you said about looking at other people and how that can throw you out of alignment because you want what they have. And it made me think about the fact that we need to be inspired by others and not be envious of others.
There you go.
Allow yourself to be inspired. Yes, sis got this, that, and that is this brother got this, that, that, this going on. Whatever that is, be inspired to get to your place of whatever it looks like, not to be in their place. Because that's how some people get into cheating and going after people's husbands and going after people's jobs and going after people's whatever. And they get it. Some of them get it. They win.
Yeah,
They get it. And then they realize this was not for me. No, sis, it wasn't. But whatever. You done got it now. What you gonna do?
what you gonna do now, girl? What you gonna do?
Because maybe your call is not ever to be married. Maybe your call is not ever to have children. But
Yeah.
maybe you're inspired to help children. Maybe you're inspired to help couples. Maybe you're inspired to do whatever your place in the world is to be. Do that. Maybe you're not ever called to write a book. Maybe you're not meant to be an author. That's fine. Not everybody got to do that. Maybe your call is not to do those things. But maybe your call in your real instance needs to be inspired to tell your story to somebody else.
Yes. Oh
Be
my God.
inspired. Don't be envious.
I love that so much. And we really can be inspired by one another in so many ways. So, and that
Absolutely.
is a powerful thing. It just is. And we're here together. I always say we're better together than we are alone. And I just believe that the power of when we come together, what we can do. One of my sisters, she said one time that we don't need to compete with each other. We can complete each other. Like we can help each other reach the space. That's Grace L. Holden right there. We can reach the spaces we want to go. There's this thing about birds when they're flying, geese, that when you got one goose flying, he can only fly, let's call it 30 miles an hour and so far. But when you put them babies in formation and they get to flying like this, they can fly 70, 100 miles further and faster than they can by themselves. So we need each other. We're necessary. I am
Yes.
my sister's keeper. I'm clear about that. I am, and I'm here because I'm in the same struggle she's in, but I'm in my lane and she's in hers, but we can still support each other, and it's just necessary. So I just hope that something in this conversation inspired somebody. Somebody got some enlightenment or something, because I've enjoyed our conversation tonight. I don't know about you, sis, but I
Oh,
have.
you already know. You already know. Anytime trying to think of what's another excuse I can think of to get back. So it's happening, and I'm excited about it. I already got one thing in mind. We'll talk later.
Yes, indeed. So I want to tell everybody, if you want to, I got a free gift I want to give your audience. If everyone, sis, write this on your thing so they can get it. So if you text leadership to 224 435 5433. So that's leadership to 224 435 5433. I'll give you, there's a free gift. It's a whole talk on how to have an extraordinary life. It talks about some mind, body, spirit things that I haven't talked about tonight. Again, it's another space to inspire you. I am here as a support and champion for women, and that's what I do. So,
Dr.
yeah,
Shana, tell me that if I got this number right
yes,
before I hit post. So it's 224
hmm
435
yes,
5433.
that is correct.
Hot dog, there we go. We're cooking with gas.
Yes, ma'am. And y'all can text leadership to that number, and I will be so happy to stay connected to you, to offer you other supports that I can. So Thank you
Well,
so much.
Dr. Shana, I know they can go to shanadlewis.com and get some information about you. They can go to Facebook and go to Shana D. Lewis. They can go to Instagram and go to Shana. Is it Shana
Yeah,
D. Lewis?
you know what? You so good. You know you've been looking. It's Dr. Shana D. Lewis.
Dr. Shana D. Lewis. So it's DrShana D. Lewis. Go to all of that. She is there. She is amazing. And who you see right here is who she is all the time. That's who she has been with you. That's who she is with her own audience. This is authenticity.
Yes, that's all I got.
Well, I thank you so much for coming on and giving us our 5 steps. So for those of you all who didn't see it scrolling, I'm going to read them to you. Here we go. 1, you're going to check your alignment. 2, you're going to get your mind right. 3, you're going to treat your body as a temple. 4, you're going to be spirit led. You so say, Spirit, lead me. And 5, you're going to do some routine maintenance. And those are going to be your 5 steps to alignment for your success from the C-suite to success. So it's not just about arriving once. It's about continuously going on your journey successfully. So Dr. Shana, thank you, thank you, thank you. We have just concluded week 13 of Leadership Live. That means we are 4th of the way there, which is crazy because that means we are 4th of the way through 2021. But week 13, next week is week 14. I'll be back right here at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've learned that I need to start saying that because we go beyond the local.
Yes.
So Dr. Shana really has me in the mindset that I need to remind people that that's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because Dr. Shana is not in Eastern Standard Time.
Right, I'm Central. It's 9 o'clock now. It was 8 o'clock when we started. Yes, ma'am.
Right. So 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'll be right back here with another amazing and phenomenal leader. Dr. Shana, you have blessed us tonight. Thank you so much. Everybody out there, thank you for watching. If you're on the replay, make sure you let us know you were here with the hashtag replay. We love you so much. I'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye, everybody.